What really differentiates yoga from physical exercise is the inner awareness and breath control. So don't let your mind wander, keep the awareness within you, focus your mind on your breath, and visualize the part of body you're exercising. That is what will bring maximum benefit through yoga. That is what really is yoga. Yoga is designed to increase energy of communication in body systems. It stimulates better immune system and body's repair mechanism. It makes you feel better. But the same set of palliative yoga exercises also has a therapeutic effect, and Dr. Rajan has innovated on a very unique yoga therapy method called measured yoga therapy, where we measure how the nadis on our fingertips are performing. And on the basis of that, we can recommend some very targeted exercises that can benefit your particular condition. So if any of you have any condition you want to talk about, you can email me or you can email Jayashree Prakash. The email addresses are right here. Close to 1,000 people have gone through our yoga therapy program, and people with complex illnesses with side effects of medications have had substantial benefit through our yoga therapy program. Points to note about today's yoga class. First and foremost, please follow instructions to avoid any adverse reactions. Important instruction is to keep your spine straight and take support if needed. Also, there is a limitation in, do your practices gently without strain. If it is too much strain on the body, then it's not yoga by definition. Also, there is a limit in duration or count. Please follow it. When you have doubt, avoid the practice or seek clarification, but remember that the liability is entirely yours. Do not multitask or merge two exercises. The slower you do, the better it is for you. The other very important thing is regular discipline practice. So if you miss a day, use the video recording from our yoga channel on YouTube, Life in Yoga Rajan, where we broadcast our sessions live and it's saved there automatically. Remember that yoga is not just physical exercise, it's a lot more than that, but it's not a religious practice either. So people from all religions are welcome. Yoga brings good health of mind and body. It brings inner awareness and a sense of cosmic connection. And with that, I'll welcome you all to our yoga family, and I will let Dr. Rajan start today's session.
Namaste, everyone. As usual, we begin. Namaste, everyone. As usual, we begin with 3 ohms. Let's take a deep breath in. My usual quick question, is there anybody who is new, who has not done our chakra vibrations before? If so, unmute yourself and say yes. And if not, I'll assume all of you know it, and we will proceed with minimal instruction. And just for the sake of noting here, today we will do from 7 to 7:30 the philosophical discussion. And today's subject will be different types of practices that lead to higher levels of what are the different impacts of it on spiritual realization. So we'll talk about that. So now bring the awareness to the perineum, and pressing on the little finger, we do Lam. Take a deep breath in. Lam. Lam. Ram. Lam. Lam. Release the fingers and continue. Lam. Now bring the awareness 1 inch above the perineum, and there we do Vam, pressing on the ring finger with the thumb. Take a deep breath. Vam. 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 Release the fingers. Continue. Vam. Now, let's bring our awareness behind the navel, and there we do Ram, pressing on the middle finger with the thumb. Ram. 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 Release the finger and continue. Ram. Last time. Ram. Now bring the awareness to the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and there we do Yam, pressing on the index finger. Yum. 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 Release the fingers and continue. Yum. Last time. Yum. Now bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum, thumbs up with a loose fist. Hum. 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 Release the hand and continue. Hum. Now we come to the middle of the head, and there we do chum, thumbs up, loose fist. Chum. 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 Release the hands and continue. Chum. Last time. Chum. Now bring the awareness to the top of the head, and here we do Om, thumbs up, loose fist. Release the hands and continue. Last time. Now we go on to the happy face breathing, the Ujjayi pranayama. So bring your awareness to the throat and begin. And those of you who need instruction, with your eyes closed, focus on the bottommost part of the mouth that connects into the neck and make a big smile. As you make a big smile, you'll feel a slight stretch in the throat. Focusing on the stretch in the throat, in the bottommost part of the mouth. Inhale and exhale comfortably and Observe as you inhale, you feel like a mild sucking sensation at the bottommost part of the mouth, like there is a straw over there. And when you exhale, there is a reverse sucking sensation. It'll be mild, and the effort you should put is very little, so that as you are observing the throat, you can go into meditative focus, right? Being focused over there. Continue. Anjani Rao, if you bring your chin down a little bit, instead of keeping the head up, chin slightly down, and if you can feel the sucking sensation, it will have a better impact.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now we go on to the respiratory mantra. Bring your awareness behind the sternum in the middle of the chest, and visualize a flow going upward out of the top of the head. And that flow feels like the vibration Haim Em Am. So don't focus on your breath. Keep the breath as unconscious breathing, like you're never, most of the time, like when you're not focused on the breath. So just visualize the flow Heim Em from the rising from the middle of the chest and going out of the top of the head. Now, focusing on the chest, we do the mantra Heim. Feel the vibration in the chest going Heim, 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 Heim. Now we go on to the spinal alignment exercise, starting with the neck. And those of you who like to do it a little more intensely, you can keep your hands behind the back. And those of you who don't want to keep the hand behind the back, that's also fine. As you exhale, gently tilt the head and bring it towards the shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, tilt the other way and continue. Last exhalation. Inhale, come back up. And as you exhale, turn the head and look over one shoulder. Inhale, come back. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Inhale, come back, and continue. Last exhalation. And inhale, come back. With the next inhalation, take the head back as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring the chin down towards the chest. Last exhalation, bring the chin down towards the chest. And now as we inhale and exhale, we go 360 degrees around the neck. Inhale, half a circle. And exhale, complete the circle. And continue. Last exhalation. As you complete the circle, we go in the reverse direction. Last exhalation. And as you complete the circle, now we go on to the shoulder exercises, one shoulder at a time. Inhale, lift up one shoulder. Exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Inhale, lift up the other shoulder. Exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now raise the hands up. And as you inhale, lift up the palm and stretch out the fingers. Exhale, thumb in and make a downward facing fist. Continue. Inhale and exhale. Last exhalation. And now we go around the wrist with the closed fist. Inhale and exhale. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now Let's go the reverse direction. Inhale and exhale. Last inhalation and exhalation. Now elbows in line with the shoulders with hands in a loose fist. And as you inhale, go around the wrist, open out the palms. Exhale, close the fist and come down. Continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now let's go backward. Inhale and exhale. Now interlock the fingers and bring it behind the head. And as you exhale, tilt to one side or turn to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, turn the other way. Inhale, come back. Continue. Last exhalation, inhale, come back. Get hold of the elbows behind the head. And as you exhale, gently pull on one elbow. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, pull on the other elbow. Inhale, come back up. And continue. Last exhalation, pull. Inhale, come back. Release the hands. Bring the hands behind the back and get hold of your elbows. Take a deep breath in. Expand the chest and pull back the shoulders. And as you exhale, turn your entire spine to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, turn the other way. Last exhalation. Inhale, come back. Now, get hold of your hands behind your hips. You can do this sitting down or standing up. As you inhale, push on one hand and make a backward arch. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, push on the other hand and make a backward arch. And exhale, come forward. And continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. And now we can cross one leg over the other and getting hold of the knee on the top of the crossed leg, pull it and cross it over and turn the head the opposite way. And inhale, release, exhale, pull and turn. Last exhalation, pull and turn. Inhale, release. Let's cross over the other leg. Last exhalation, inhale, release. Now let's stand up. And as we inhale, we will bend at the knees and exhale, stand up. So we'll do a few times. Inhale, knees down, exhale up. Last inhalation, exhalation. Then get hold of your elbows behind the back and we will bend at the hip. Those of you who cannot keep a balance, you can do it sitting down. Take a deep breath in, pull back the shoulders and lift up the head and take the slightly bend backward. And as you exhale, push out the butt and come down, bending from the hip. Keep the shoulder pulled back and keep the chin up as you come down. Inhale and slowly come up and take your seat. And now we will do both shoulders together. Inhale, lift up both the shoulders up. And exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Continue. Lift all the way from the hip and the shoulders. Last inhalation and exhalation. Very good. Now we need to go on to the alternate nostril breathing, or as you can first examine to see how your nostrils are blowing. If they're about equal, keep your awareness behind the forehead in the middle of the brain. And as you inhale, feel the vitality go to the middle of the brain behind the forehead. And as you exhale, feel a cascade of vitality going towards the hands and legs. So continue that visualization. Now we go on to the spinal mantra. So the instruction will be self-explanatory. We do the 7 mantras from the feet and ankle to the knees to the lowermost part of the spine, which is in between the buttocks and the back, and then the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine in the neck, and then in the back of the head, in the very top, called the shikha point. The mantra for the feet and neck are the same, that is Aim. Now let us begin from the feet and ankle with mantra Aim, moving to knees where we vibrate Shim, and move on to the base of the spine where we do Jim. Aim, Shim, Jim. I'm Shem 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 Jim. Now we move from the base of the spine to the lumbar region, then to the thoracic or the back region of the spine with Jim, Jime, Haim. So let's go. Jim, Jime, Haim. 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 Now we move from the thoracic spine to the spine and the neck to the back of the head with Haim, Aim, Om. Let's go. Haim, Aim, Om. 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 Now we do all the 7 mantras in sequence, starting from the feet and ankle. Aim, Shim, Jim, Jime, Haim, Aim, Om. 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 I'm Shim Jim Jam Ham I'm 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 Om. Now, let's go on to our Bhastrika. We'll do about 3 or 4 rounds. So keep your hand either in the belly or loose fist with elbows by the side of the chest. So let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Bring down the hands. Keep the eyes closed to observe the sensations within. Now let's go on to the second round. Loose fist. Let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Bring down the hands, keep your eyes closed, and observe the sensations within. Let's go on to the next round. Again, let's get ready. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 9. Exhale. And 20. Exhale. Bring down the hands. Keep the eyes closed. Let's go to the 4th round one more time. Let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. Last 20. Exhale. Bring down the hands, keep your eyes closed, and observe the sensations with them. Mentally tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. If you have a personal mantra, focus on it. And if you don't have a personal mantra, use the mantra Haim Im Om with the visualization of flowing from the middle of the chest and going out of the top of the head. And continue doing that while Om plays in the background.
Mentally affirm to yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I am born. And with that as the thought, become aware of the flow of the senses from the top of the head all the way to the bottom of the feet. Let there be the realization we are only instruments of the cosmic flow, and each one of us is born for a special purpose. And with this thought, when we ask in meditation, we are guided to fulfill that purpose. So with that as the thought, when you're ready to come out of meditation, raise your hands and bring it a few inches in front of your face and look straight into the palm of your hands when you open the eyes. So with that, we will end the meditation and then go on to the discussion. So in today's discussion topic, I see Shobha Krishna there. She's still waiting to catch the plane, right? So soon she's going to the airport. Anyway, so in the case of different types of yoga practices, there are limitations. Only when yoga is understood in its completeness can one attain the highest level in yoga. Let's examine the different types of yoga approaches that are all recognized. But before we go there, let's understand two elements that come from the Yoga Sutras. Everyone is born for a special purpose, and doing their duty is what is expected of them. And when they do their duty, they are in sync with the purpose. There is no stress in the system. The second point that comes out is going through the process of fulfilling all our duties, which are all programmed within us. And when we don't react to them, we don't create any more new programs. Reactions always create new programs, and that is what is called karmas, which carry on and force another lifetime. So in any case, when both of those are not present, automatically at the end of the lifetime, the body drops. There is no more rebirth because there is no more program to come back to.
The very interesting aspect is one can attain that state without self-realization or real experiential understanding of what is the nature of existence. The simplest way to do it is, there are two approaches that your people you have heard of and very common, is the Bhakti Yoga approach and the Karma Yoga approach. In the Bhakti Yoga, you simply let go. And every moment in time, you tell yourself, everything is the manifestation of the Lord, and the Lord is working through everybody around. So the Lord has the wisdom to direct us whichever way it needs to go. So whatever has come to us, that too is part of the creation. So because at every moment in time you think of every act and whatever you experience as part of God's play, you no longer react to it, you accept it. Whether it's good or bad, you don't react. Now, that is the Bhakti Yoga approach at a certain level. Now, think of the Karma Yoga approach. The Karma Yoga approach is, well, whether God is there or not is not the point. It's things are not in my control, and people are born, people die. But in the end, everyone dies. No point getting anxiety or getting worked up with whatever we experience. So we simply stay as a pure observer, and that's it, and whatever happens. So both ways, whether it is with faith in God or faith in the inevitable, the sensible thing is you don't react and let go. Your programs die. There is no more new programs to manifest in another lifetime. There is no more birth. However, the person is not self-realized. Why is the person not self-realized? What is the meaning of self-realized? Well, within our higher nadi, what we call as the Atma Nadi, there are 4 elements in it. One element is our cosmic connectivity, which automatically happens in deep sleep. But cosmic connectivity is very simple. You mentally let go, you will always have the feeling of lightness. Cosmic connectivity automatically happens. But cosmic connectivity is of different levels. You can think in terms of when you use the internet, when you're using it through a mobile phone, if you think in terms of the olden days when we were using through dial-up modem, the speed was very low. When you got DSL, that was a little higher. But today we use cable modem and Verizon Fios, and those are much, much faster. And from 4G, we are looking at going at 5G. So what happens is, each time you have a higher level of connection, you have ability to communicate even better. So when you're mentally let go and relaxed, that is a very, very small level of connection. And in that connection, you can sense what makes you happy, what seems to be in sync with you. But that's about all. You're not asking any questions, and you're not getting answers back. Now, the second element, aside from connectivity, is how much of programs that are there within you. This is what is called in the yoga language as karma klesha. In the Vedanta language, it is called the karmas and vasanas. So all of those programs that are there within you. Now, the more programs that you have there within you, less will be your perceptive broadband of connectivity. The less programs you have within you, connectivity will be higher. You'll feel more connected. So the third element is what is called Atma Vidya, or your innate awareness about the nature of existence. The fourth one is not really essential. That is, people develop abilities that are what we call as siddhis, that come from practice of higher levels of yoga. So let's focus on the first 3 elements. The more you're non-reactive and less programs you have, more connected you become. But the more connected you become, Obviously, with less programs, at the end of the lifetime, all the programs are gone, you're not reborn. But you can become self-realized only if you increase your Atma Vidya. And Atma Vidya comes from questioning. And this is what Shankaracharya in his approach has said about what is called mumukshatva, the concept of being a seeker. So you have to seek, you have to ask the question. If you don't ask the question, it won't come. However, before you ask the question and before the answer comes, you have to learn to be a person who is non-reactive. Only then you can ask the question and not get the answer back. So this particular element, so when people are in the pure Bhakti Yoga mode of full surrender, and when people are simply in the Karma Yoga mode, don't care, be non-reactive, just do the job and go, they may not have a birth afterwards, but they may never become self-realized. In order to become self-realized, you have to mentally ask the question, what is existence all about? And this is what Ramana Maharshi said to people. How do you become self-realized? Ask the question, who am I? And the answer will come. But it will only come when there is purification and only when the connectivity is high enough. And of course, if there is purification and you mentally let go, connectivity automatically happens. So now, let's look at another case that comes from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. When you mentally let go and surrender, you have to surrender to that God or Lord, which is the source of everything. What name you attributed to it is irrelevant. However, if you become a person who is going to mentally, surrender to some being, some saintly being that has come into a body, and you're very fascinated by this being because the person is a good being helping a lot of people and all of these things. So a saintly person who has abilities beyond the normal. Your level of awareness hits a ceiling to that of that person. And this is what in Yoga Sutra, the first chapter, Sutra number 20, says that if you're focused on any being that is without a body, and and if that's the being that you're focused on, you will be limited by how far that being has awareness. So that is why fixation into anything that is less than the source of everything is a bad idea. It will limit your level of ability to grow. Now, by what name you call that and how you think of it is a different matter. But the description of it is the source of everything, from where everything comes, from there where everything goes back, that which sustains everything, that which is capable of doing anything at any time, and that which has knowledge of everything. So if you understand this, that kind of a concept, then there is no problem no matter what name you give to that God. So this is so these are the elements where we see people who have, with great deal of faith, they are purified because they are mentally surrendered to God, but they never ever have the full realization. And the other side, people who are simply selflessly serving but never get full realization. So the question is, purify and ask the question, who am I? What am I here for? Only then it will reach that point. Now, I'm going to stop here before I go to the next segment. Are there any questions over here? Yes, Nareshji, go ahead.
In theory, it sounds pretty good, Dr. Narayan, not to be non-reactive. But in practical application, I find it very difficult with certain people. And that's my dilemma. And I don't have a right answer. You may try to get away from that situation to be non-reactive, but while you are in that circumstance or in that scenario of poor conversation or whatever you can call it, you react. And
Yeah, that's fine. I understand your question, so I'll respond to that. Okay.
Thank you.
So the thing is basically, the Yoga Sutra is clear in saying that what happens is when you start with a practice, you grow slowly towards that non-reactiveness. In the sense, in the beginning stages, you may be more reactive. Later, you become less reactive. You never become completely non-reactive. But as you become less reactive, in the moments when you're practicing your daily meditation, and in the daily meditation, you're asking the question, why am I unable to be non-reactive even the few times when I am getting reactive? And in meditation, you ask that question. Slowly, because you're asking questions in meditation about the nature of existence, why, what, who am I, why is everything, all of this, your Atma Vidya begins to grow. As the Atma Vidya becomes higher and higher, then in which case you become less and less and less and less and less reactive. So this is what the Yoga Sutra explains. If the Atma Vidya is high, that means Avidya is gone and there is only full Vidya over there. Then there is no place for the other things to, other elements to create another lifetime or anything, because the Atma Vidya will not let you react to anything, everything else will follow. Whereas, on the other hand, when Atma Vidya is not full, that is when you begin to have some level of reactivity, even though through the purification process, you have become less and less reactive. So, Nareshji, that answers your question? Okay. Okay. Now, coming back to Prabhakar Sakamuri, you have a question.
So either Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, when we do sincerely without any expectation, obviously you said like there won't be any rebirth because you're kind of emptying all the karmas if you're sincerely, right?
Yes.
Now, your living being itself is based on my understanding because of previous karmas, or you had a debt. What do you call it? You build a debt, so you want to clear that or desire.
Hold 1 second. When people talk about previous karmas as the source of your birth, you have to ask them the question, where did the first karma come for you to have the first birth if you were never born? Okay? This answer is not provided very clearly by most people. Whereas the Yoga Sutra is very, very clear that that it is God who creates the first programs for you to be born. And within that program, automatically avidya is part of the program. You don't get full awareness of the nature of existence. If you have the full nature of existence, you will not be reactive, you will not engage with all of this creation. In a previous segment, I told you about that in the form of the Sanat Kumaras, the first 4 children of Brahma, who didn't want any creation to happen. And I told you about the story of Durga Saptashati, right? So the thing is basically, when avidya is present and you react, that's when you create karma. So yes, you're a product of both original program plus karmas. Continue.
So for example, hypothetically, for the initial assumption was wrong, whatever I thought, like I born because of previous karmas. Say this is my first birth, hypothetically. If it is my first birth, but still I've been conditioned with the environment, obviously I would be living more reactive than until I self-realize to say that it's better not to be realized. So that based on that, I'm building karma also along with the living. So there is a 200% chances that at least now, if this is a beginning, I have to have a next birth, right? That is guaranteed. No matter whether previous karma or not, now I know I did a lot of karma, so there is a guarantee that I have a rebirth.
Yeah, don't
Unless
use
I
the word
cleanse.
guarantee, use the word logical. Okay.
Logical. I mean, in the sense, there is no guarantee for any of the stuff. In the sense, logical, based on thinking, understanding. So I don't know about the previous, but now I know that I definitely had some karma accumulated, and I don't have a realization of that I'm not supposed to react until I kind of meet people like you or Kumarji, something Kumarji, like towards that self-seeking stuff. We build, and on top of it is also, it's not possible right away you flip the switch and then you become a non-reactive. It is not possible. So what I'm saying is we are building that
gradual
karma.
progress.
Right, gradual progress. So by end of this this body's life, this body's timer, if you are not able to, my soul is not realized that I'm not, I should be let it go and all, then what I'm saying is, logically you will take another birth. Now the question is, again, as you said, it's a 2-in-1, in the sense it's a capsule of my self karmas plus divine's need of somewhere with a bigger program. There is a need for it somewhere. There is a robot needed. I will be part of robot, go there. But so now, who influences that birth? The divine cosmos power, where the robot requirement, or your karmas, based on your debt or your karma, you are going to be that. What is that? The new capsule, who decides, and what is that?
Okay. The thing is, basically, I didn't fully understand your question, but I will cover all bases so that your question will be answered. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
So I was not clear whether you're talking of the first birth or whether the later births that included both the original program plus karmas you have accumulated. But either case, your question was, what determines the circumstances of your next birth? Right?
Yes.
So the thing is, basically, the Yoga Sutra is very clear in saying, according to the needs of the time of the cosmic flow, and according to what is the nature of your program, you enter into a body in such time and place where that particular bundle of program will be most suitable for this what will I say? Most suitable for the purpose of the cosmic flow. The way it is explained in the Yoga Sutras is, I've said this before, that just like in a paddy field, there are water channels that are built in by the edge in order to fill the paddy field with water while the paddy is germinating. Similar, and in order to fill the water, they break the mud wall to the embankment to let the water flow, and then they close it. In the same way, based upon the need of the times and the programs that are there, the cosmic flow opens out the wall for this program to enter into that particular body and then closes it off. So that's how it is explained. Okay. So let's go on to the next person. I saw that Sharmistaji and Sachidanji have their hand up for a while. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan. I understand what you had said, but Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga, understanding, like you said, through Patanjali or Yoga Sutras, what I had learned from is the devotional yoga. Means you surrender to whatever cosmic God, Krishna, whatever we feel, and then you let it go. But how would you, through bhakti, the Gyan Yoga comes with it, because without Gyan, Bhakti Yoga cannot give you. Do we need to have a self-realization?
Okay, I would actually contest that point of view. You can have bhakti without Gyan. You can have blind faith.
But some people say that you need to have jnana. But I have learned in my lifetime that when you do bhakti yoga with full devotion, whatever your needs are, that jnana comes within yourself.
See, the thing is basically whatever your needs are in order to fulfill the purpose of the lifetime, they come to you. But
That's right.
not necessarily the knowledge of what is the nature of the self and not what is the nature of existence. That doesn't come.
It
That
doesn't
will
come.
only come if you ask for it.
Correct. So do we need to move towards self-realization because the lifetime is getting short, at least in my age group? Do we need to or continue in the path of bhakti and getting better connectivity through yoga practices like yours and satsang of good people?
Okay, the way you say it, I won't agree with. In fact, bhakti is the strongest way to improve your connectivity.
Correct.
Okay?
That's what I felt.
And so the thing is basically, the point I'm saying is connect with bhakti, but don't stop there. Go and ask the question.
Okay.
That is the
That's
only
good.
point I'm making.
Thank you.
Okay? So, yes, Alagiri
That's
Srinivasan,
very
go
good.
ahead.
It seems you are just very sad.
Hold 1 second. Hold 1 second.
Okay.
Hold 1 second.
मैंने चावल खाऊंगे थोड़े से आपके लिए सारे आपके लिए गर्म करेंगे दीदी लेवल में
सारे नहीं डाले
ज्यादा नहीं आपको लग
is Bal Mukund there on this at this time, or
Yeah, I'm here. Tell me.
I think it's almost 7:30,
Hmm.
and look like Dr. Narayan is attending mom or
Hmm.
something else.
Yeah.
Maybe we can say keep the remainder of the discussion for next Sunday.
Probably. Yeah. I think seems like Dr. Rajan has been busy with something that came up. So
Please
those
let us
people who
wait
have
for
to
his
leave,
return and then we can decide, I would say.
so those people who want to leave can leave, and when Dr. Rajan returns, I can tell him to continue later.
Yeah, I think we can continue. I mean, there is no reason to let him come back and see what he says. I'm okay with waiting and listening later on too.
Yeah, okay.
I'm okay.
Let's just wait a couple of minutes more.
Okay, sorry for that.
You said there is a difference between not coming back as rebirth and self-realization. Is that true?
Not coming back as rebirth and self-realization, they are two different things. Yes.
Then what happens to that Atma? You have completed your karmas and you don't have any birth, but you are not self-realized. I am confused on that.
No, there are two things. This is from a karma yoga perspective, when they don't have strong faith in God, right?
Yes.
Then in which case what happens is when they don't have a strong faith in God, whatever is the content of the being merges into the cosmic energy. Right? So there is nothing left after that, because we are all finally, including the soul within us, is only vibration particles. The second element of it is, that is the karma yoga approach. When there is faith in God, then in which case one can, even though they have left the body and all of that, that link with God can always remain. That becomes like a program, faith in God. So it stays there all the time. So that is the concept of heaven at the feet of the Lord. So these two possibilities are given in the Yoga Sutras.
I see.
In the sense, like at that time you need a rebirth, there is a chance that you can come back on either your wish or cosmic's wish.
What is that? At that time you can come back?
No, in the sense, like, see, when you don't have anything, any karmas left, you said there are two ways. Through karma yoga, you can merge into cosmic energy so that there is no question of rebirth.
That is correct.
But when through bhakti yoga, what you say is like no karmas, zero debt, but there will be single capsule. You are at the feet of, you are in the heaven as a capsule. So is that that piece of capsule, you are there for what purpose? In the sense, like, is this something that if you need to rebirth again, there is a chance you can get it, or the cosmic energy or the divine wants to do have some purpose to be taken care, then they will use that capsule to go and have a birth? And what is that?
Let me be clear. You're asking let me make sure I understood your question correctly. Your question was that in the event that a being goes beyond rebirth, but goes and stays with the connectivity with God, then is that going to have rebirth? That's the question you asked, right?
Oh, so there are both cases. There are no rebirth. One is merged into karma yoga. The one is merged into cosmic, no birth. And then there is another bhakti yoga merged into divine. That is also no birth. There is no.
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh, okay. But then, what is the purpose of it? I mean, what is that? What is that capsule is doing? And yeah, I don't. Okay.
Okay, so Tara Narasimhan.
Namaste, Dr. Rajan. Mine is a basic question of, how our Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which has been an authenticated kind of a given, this is what happens and this is the pathway and this leads to that. Okay, very clearly put all the clauses and everything. Now, each one of those gurus go ahead and interpret it all, and all of these. Isn't the questions come? Why is not there a standard following of this particular Yoga Sutra, which means so many things? Now, people call it by different names. Sudarshan Kriya, that Kriya, this. All this is, to me, why isn't there a singular kind of a thing that we believe?
You have asked me actually two questions in there.
Uh-huh.
One question you asked is, there are so many yogas over there. Why is not yoga understood in a singular way? Is one question you asked. The other question you have asked at the same time is the interpretation of the of our traditional literature and all of that. What is the interpretation of that, right?
Yeah.
And why it has been different for different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but in these two questions, people, you see, people's interpretation is based upon their experience. Now, what happens is when you're able to experience beyond the body, okay? When you're able to experience beyond the body, then in which case, that is only the first level of experience. It doesn't mean you have reached the highest. One can never know when one has reached the highest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? One can only know that the person is able to understand more and more and experience more and more.
Is each one of us kind of, whatever is appealing that you follow because your mind and your kind of a thing that agrees with that particular viewpoint, is that how you keep following what you are being explained to?
Say that again.
No, I'm saying that, I follow your path and I feel very comfortable the way it is explained, the way it is given, and I understand. But with that, do I strongly believe and firmly not accept anyone else's point?
No. You don't even accept my point of view. That is why we focus on personal sadhana and practice.
Mm-hmm.
So through the practice, you find it for yourself.
Okay.
So the key part is basically all of these, whatever discussion we have, is only so that it gives you some direction towards where you need to put your effort.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So let me answer both the questions fully, right? So the first part of the question was that why is it people interpret in so many different ways? Because people, based on their experiences, which are beyond the body, but not necessarily the highest experience, interpret in their own way, right? And their experience is not wrong, but their experience is not complete. And they start writing about it and telling about it. Now, that is the reason it creates so much of disinformation. And this is where, when one goes to the root document of Vyasa tried to bring, organization to that. Second, this thing is a question you asked is why people in yoga are doing, this thing and all of that. Here, people have been calling practices as yoga, as opposed to the experience and the connective process is what is really yoga. So when people mistake the difference between the experience and the process, or the whatever is the experience of yoga, Vyasa is very clear in saying, yoga means samadhi. Okay? Vyasa is very clear in saying. Whereas on the other hand, what do people think if you say yoga? They think yoga is some particular exercise or some particular practice, right? Yeah. So it is because of this, so many things have come. Now, further, of course, what happens is two things have manifested that have propagated it. Essentially, commercial interest. Okay?
Yeah.
And even when people say there is no commercial interest, there is an underlying commercial interest every time somebody wants to say, I'm giving something, and I'm going to have this as my brand name, and this is how this thing and all of that, and that kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is that degree of it happens. Now, some of it, what we think of it is that too is part of the cosmic flow. Okay. There are people who are from the yoga lineage. I should put it this way: people who have been well known in yoga. Okay, in the recent times. I'm not talking about old times. In the recent times, some of them have been extremely good in sharing this information, or about sharing the enthusiasm of yoga with thousands and millions of people. Right. So, to that extent, we consider that this yoga has this has really allowed yoga to be become more well known around various parts of the world, but not necessarily the correct yoga, right?
Acceptable form so that people can take it.
So what happened is, in the fact that more people get to know about yoga is perhaps part of the cosmic design. And the second thing that has happened is, some institutions have focused a lot on studying the physiological as well as the therapeutic effects of yoga. And so when they have done that, there too, they have created an interest for people to know more. But the thing is, maybe that is why some of you are over here, because you have heard about this and all of this. So this is the process. And so our goal and focus over here in Life in Yoga Institute, and we have common partners with the Himalayan Institute tradition and certain other this thing, where we feel that knowledge, purity of knowledge is more important than, trying to go big in various ways.
Yeah.
And in fact, what happened is, in my own zone, people have asked me a lot of questions. Why have you not written a book about this or that and all of those things? In fact, the reality is, more than 15 years ago, I wrote the book, but somehow my intuition did not permit me to publish the book. And now when I look back after 15 years, I see how much more we have grown and understood more. So every time people experience something and write a book, more often they are spreading incomplete information rather than they are spreading a complete, what you would call as gospel knowledge or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, basically, this is perhaps the reason. In the ancient tradition, it was said that spiritual education is always taught one-on-one, not through books.
Yeah.
Because the
Right,
moment
right.
you put it in book and you share it with more and more people, you're probably leaving it to misinterpretation as well as your own limited knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for explaining it. And one more thing, International Yoga Day, are you planning anything, or anything came up for that?
Yes. The thing is, two things. One is through the Indian Embassy in Washington. There is something being, the embassy is planning something for the morning hours of Sunday, the June 20th. And Sunday, I cannot be certain whether it's Sunday or Saturday, the 19th, or this thing they're planning. They will let us know. And I expect to hear something about that within the next week, because already we are in the month of June. And the second program which we have, that Dr. Naresh Chand has organized, is in the afternoon of Sunday, June 20th, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. There is what he has called the scientific satellite session, where we will be discussing about the aspect of yoga as related to health matters. So that is something he has organized.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I had planned to do more, but then since I paused for the questions came more than this thing, so we'll continue next time. Prabhakar Sakamuri, your last question, and then we'll close. Oh, okay.
Thank
Malti
you.
Poddar, yeah.
Okay. So when you say when there is no debt left, obviously the either both ways it is going no rebirth, no rebirth. But when you say you need to self-realize, say at the age of 60, 70, you go for a self-realization and you come to know that you have something to do, which is unfinished job in your lifetime. So at that time, then your purpose of you realized at that time towards like last mile of your marathon, you came to know the purpose of life, but you at the
Let
same
me
time
stop
you
you there. Let me stop you there. The thing is, you see, you're creating scenarios in your head, which is not the way Cosmos has designed.
okay.
Okay? Now, if you need to do your Swadharma,
Mhm.
you don't have to go looking for your Swadharma. The Swadharma will come searching for you. It will stand in front of you. You are the one who can decide whether to engage or not. Okay? So the thing is, basically what happens is, key focus should be on as long as you're open, everything will work out and your karmas will all go away and you'll go beyond rebirth. But that is not the question or the point that I'm making today. I'm making the point,
Okay.
the slight distinction between self-realization and going beyond rebirth, both are not exactly the same.
Got it.
Okay? And the
That's
thing
okay.
is, basically, for you, if you want to look at it from a perspective of extraordinary stalwarts we have had before, think in terms of Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi was that person, if you go to him and ask him, what should I do to become self-realization? He will say, ask yourself, who am I?
Yeah.
Okay? So, but that who am I? You will only get the answer when there is purity in your nadis. In other words, you have a higher level of cleanse. You're non-reactive in process. You have the meditative connectivity. Okay, Malti Poddar, last question.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of confused because when I read a book, Essence of Hinduism, I realized all people have three different karmas. One is Sanchit karma, Prarabdha karma, Kriyaman karma. Sanchit karma is the one which you have accumulated, it is before you are born. Prarabdha karma, you are born with what the God sends with you, some of the good and bad karmas. And Kriyaman karma is the one what we attain during our good deeds we do, bad deeds we do. These are all
present line, but life.
Kriyaman karma. So when the person is completely surrenders himself to Brahman, that means you get a moksha, then you don't have a rebirth. Otherwise, you always carry on your karmas and you'll be born again and again and again. So I just want a little bit explanation about this.
I have answered the question. But the thing is, basically, the question is, if you are non-reactive, you don't accumulate karmas. But the thing is, basically, your ability to be non-reactive is conditioned by your level of Atma Vidya. And the Atma Vidya can never become complete unless you ask for it in your meditative connectivity.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
So see you all. So next time, next Sunday, I'll carry on where I had intended to, go. Namely, I had wanted to go into how traditions put you into this path and how they work with it. I wanted to share with you some insights from Vedic tradition as well as non-Vedic traditions, how they are done. So we'll leave it for next time. So let's close over here. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajan.